If there is one thing Ontario tax dollars should not be spent on, it is partisan politics. However, since the former Premier, Kathleen Wynne, watered down the Government Advertising Act in 2015, it's been easier than ever to do just that. I mean, the latest example is the Ford government's anti-carbon tax ads, which shows us that this is not an issue that's limited to just one party. Now, among other changes to the GAA, the former Wynne government stripped Ontario's Auditor General of its veto power over government-sponsored advertising that contained factual inaccuracies. Now, the Auditor General lost the ability to block partisan government ads which may, skew or misrepresent facts to suit the government's party's interest. The government's spending on advertising then grew from $30 million to nearly $50 million the year following the change. Most of the additional spend was used to promote Liberal Party policies like the Ontario Retirement Pension Plan. The Auditor General says that these ads would have been rejected under the old rules. So the sitting Auditor General, Bonnie Lysyk, has stated that her office must now approve an ad even if it's factually inaccurate. Look, there is nothing new about political parties wanting to get their word out, their way. But at least before, an independent body was able to prevent tax dollars from funding this. This is really the core of the problem. Ontario families are footing the bill for the millions being spent on ads which are providing them with biased or inaccurate information. Another lasting legacy from the Wynne government. 10 out of 10. Great job. But Wynne shouldn't receive all the blame. While Liberals were responsible for making the changes initially, the PCs are in no rush to make things right and are instead using the policy to their advantage. The party's former leader, Patrick Brown, pledged to restore the Auditor General's veto of partisan government ads. However, when asked about the progress of restoring the veto last week, Ontario Treasury Board President Peter Bethlenfalvy would only say that the Tories are reviewing the Advertising Act. There's a lot to review, he said. We're busy, he said. Look, if the Ford government is busy, it is busy making ads. I mean, the PCs recently went on a multi-million-dollar advertising spree attacking the federal Liberal Party's carbon pricing measures via TV and radio commercials. The commercial, funded by you and I, let's remember, depicts change pouring out of gas pumps, heating vents, and supermarket shelves. All things the PCs want you to know will soon cost more. The problem? Well, according to the Auditor General, the commercial meets the criteria of factually inaccurate advertising because it failed to mention any of the federal tax rebates designed to offset higher fuel costs. I mean, according to estimates, the Liberal federal carbon tax will eventually provide enough funds to most, not all, but most people to offset the tax or more. The extra money, if any, would come from small businesses who will carry most of the burden. Look, you can quibble with the estimates or, debate the notion of carbon taxation more generally, but publicly funded ads should at least mention the opposing views, no? The danger is that the PCs, now that they're in office, will be tempted by the power of unlimited ad budgets, just like the Liberals were. What party wouldn't be? The reckless use of taxpayer dollars simply fuels cynicism in politics. Now, not to sound too optimistic or maybe naive, but people should be able to trust that their government is telling them the truth and, not confusing them more in an effort to get reelected, especially when they're doing so on the public's dime.